then in the dock there's a replica of Sir Francis Drake's ship, the Golden Hind. Sir Francis Drake was the first Englishman to sail the world. He did so on a ship identical to that one. If you walk round behind the ship, you'll find the Borough Market. That's the finest food market in London. It's very nice there, Borough Market. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in front of the boat we have London Bridge. This is the 5th London Bridge in 2,000 years. When the Romans came here, they built a wooden bridge. They called it Londinium. A medieval bridge for over 500 years. It had a church, shops and houses. The London Bridge before this one, it was sinking, and it was sold to an American businessman. He had the bridge taken down stone by stone, shipped over to America, rebuilt in Arizona, Lake Havasu City in America. That's where the old bridge is in America. Has anyone seen the bridge in America? No? Has anyone ever heard the story before? We've heard it. It's a true story, man, isn't it? A lot of people think I'm making it up, but I'm not. Thank you for backing me up, I appreciate it. The blue glass building on the left, that was the first modern glass building to be built on the banks of the river. The yellow brick building on the left is the old Billingsgate fish market. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the yellow brick building, the old Billingsgate fish market. Can you see the golden fish on the roof as weather vanes? And then look up to the right, we've got the Shard of Glass, the tallest building in Western Europe. It stands over 1,000 feet tall, and it was designed by a man called Renzo Piano. He was the man who designed the lovely Shard of Glass. Ahead of us on the right, we've got 2 ships in the river. The HMS Belfast is the one moored on the inside. A Second World War cruiser. She's a museum in London. Then we have the Silver Wind. She comes into London a few times a year. A regular visitor to London. That's it. Wave to the rich man on his boat. There we are, lads. Okay, sir, you've got lots of money. There we go. It's all right for some. We're quite happy on our boat here anyway. I've never ever been on a cruise boat. I spend enough time on this boat, I couldn't think of anything worse. I want to get as far away from boats as possible when I'm not on it. I spend more time on it than I do in my own house. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we come past the 2 ships, look in front of us on the left, we have the Tower of London. Now, the oldest part of the tower is in the centre, where you see the 4 roofs and the flag. This is the Norman Keep, or the White Tower, built in the reign of William the Conqueror in 1078. This building has served London as a royal palace, a prison, a royal mint and observatory. Famously a place of imprisonment, torture and execution. Look over on the river wall, entry to Traitor's Gate. If you were found guilty of treason to the crown, you were taken through Traitor's Gate and you were imprisoned or executed inside the tower. Inside the tower today, the crown jewels are on display. They are guarded by yeoman wardens, who we know better as the Beefeaters here in London. Ahead of the boat, ladies and gentlemen, we have the lovely Tower Bridge, the gateway to London. Tower Bridge is 132 years old this year. This centre part of the bridge, it does open like a double-sided drawbridge to allow big tall-masted ships into the Pool of London, like the cruise ship you just saw. When the bridge opened a lot, what you could do was walk up a tower and then walk over the catwalks at the top. Can you see the people on the glass floor up there, everyone? Look. If you wave to someone on Tower Bridge and they wave back to you, it will bring 5 years of good luck and happiness. So waving. Ladies and gentlemen, information about tickets. If you get off the boat here, there's a return boat every half an hour. The last boat to leave here is at 5:40 tonight. 5:40 is your last boat. The boats leave at 10 past and 20 minutes to the hour, okay? If you are going to Greenwich, you remain on the boat. So if you're going to Greenwich, don't get off this boat. We'll take you to Greenwich, okay? Make sure that you've got everything with you before you leave the boat, please. Please don't ruin your day by leaving something on here. The very last thing that we do say, if we can, just a quick word about the old commentary. As I said at the beginning, folks, we're the crew of the boat. Our job is to carry passengers on this river safely, which we do every day. The people that own these boats on the river, they've never employed a professional guide. So it is a tradition that one of the watermen will come out, pass on their local knowledge, and generally most people get off this boat and say they've really enjoyed it. They would take a hot water bottle to work in their jacket coats, and they used to tap the barrels. So you'd have a big barrel of rum or whiskey, they'd pierce the barrels, take some out, fill up their bottle, and then they'd plug the barrel. And say then when they got home of the night, they could have a couple of nice glasses of rum. That's what they used to do. On the left, we got the River Police. They're the oldest uniformed police force in the world. They were set up to combat piracy that was rife on the river. Up to 30% of cargo was being stolen by pirates every year. Captain William Kidd, can you see the name of the pub? He was given the job as a young sea captain to combat piracy. He saw how much money everyone was earning. He turned to piracy himself, and he was captured and executed in 1701. On the right we've got a church. This is the Church of St. Mary. Buried in the church is Captain Christopher Jones. He was the captain and part owner of the Mayflower pilgrim ship. Can you see the pub on the right? It's called the Mayflower. On the roof of the pub there's a weather vane, a small bronze model to the Mayflower ship. Built on the right, crewed by local men and sailed to America with the Pilgrim Fathers. Not a lot of people realise this when they come to London, but we do have some lovely beaches. Look over on the right, a tropical golden sandy beach. You can come down, have a little sit on the beach, collect some broken glass, a few rusty nails, have a paddle in the polluted river, ladies and gentlemen. What a fantastic day out. Who needs the Bahamas, ladies and gentlemen, when we have a beach like this? It's really nice. Now over to our left we have New Crane Wharf and Metropolitan Wharf. Look at the word wharf on the building. W-H-A-R-F. Look at each letter in the word. The letters stand for warehouse at riverfront. So a wharf is a warehouse at riverfront. Now if you look that up, you won't find that information anywhere, but it sounds good enough to me, so we're going to stick with it, sir. I think it sounds good, doesn't it? So we're going to go with it. Can't argue that. Then we got a white building by the tree. See that little pub? That is the Prospect of Whitby. That pub was built in 1520. Has a view of the river and its own balcony. And what that does, it makes a maximum profit on every single apartment inside it. So to have, bless you, to have a view and the balcony makes more money on every apartment. See the two buildings next door with the arches in the bottom of them? They are called Free Trade Wharf. During the Plague of London, 1665, foreign countries refused to trade in fear of catching the deadly plague. The only country that continued to trade were the Dutch, and the Dutch ships came up to Free Trade Wharf unloading their vital cargo for the London people. Now, in thanks to the Dutch ship owners, they were given free trade. Thanks to the Dutch sailors, the brave men who came in, they were given barrels of brandy and barrels of ports. So on the way home, they could have a good old drink. That would encourage them to come back again. And that is where you get the saying of Dutch courage. If you have a few beers, a bit of Dutch courage comes from the old sailors. Limehouse Marina on the left, can you see that? That is the entrance to the canal network of England. We have over 2,000 miles of canal. East India, West India and Millwall docks. So if you came here in the 50s, you would have seen all the ships. For hundreds of years they traded here. Due to containerisation, the docks were shut down. They were not big enough to accommodate the container ships. So they shut the docks down and it laid redundant, and now they've done a great redevelopment of a very run-down, poor part of London. See the aircraft, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to land in London City Airport in about 3 minutes. The quay side of the Old Royal Docks in North Woolwich is the runway for the aircraft. Now I was working in the city airport, the dock, about 5 or 6, maybe 7 years ago now. We done an extension to the runway. We was in there with the tugs and barges. We was there for 3 years, and they've made an extension on the side of the old quay which allows the bigger aircraft to sit and land. So they've now got the bigger aircraft. It only used to be the small ones landing down. They all land down there. So it's been a big redevelopment to City Airport. And then we get to this part of the river, and you look down on the left and you look down on the right, and every single building down here is an apartment. All I can tell you about these apartments, they are very, very nice. They are very, very expensive. And I cannot afford to buy one of them, unfortunately. And if I could afford to buy one, I would not be standing here on Bank Holiday Monday doing this. I can assure you of that. So what I'm going to do is switch this microphone off for a few minutes until we get down to the bend, and then I'll tell you some more bits before we arrive at Greenwich. Has everyone had a good time this afternoon? Everybody happy? Great stuff. Thank you very much. And we're going to speak again in a few moments' time. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
Amigos, en este momento nos estamos acercando. Si ustedes recuerdan uno de los primeros videos donde dicen los grandes secretos de Londres, el túnel bajo el río Támesis. Bueno, en este momento estamos llegando al área donde está el barco y la entrada al río, al túnel que pasa bajo el río. Este río que precisamente estamos ahorita navegando, ese túnel está debajo de este lugar. Desde que, bueno, es parte de la historia, pero qué bonito es poderlo sacar en este otro video y hacer ese recordatorio de un lugar tan bonito como este. Ahí pueden ustedes ver esa cúpula, esa es la entrada al túnel que pasa aquí abajo del río, ¿ya? Y el barco que les decía también, que les hice mención ese día, es un lugar muy pero muy bonito donde ustedes encuentran restaurantes, muchos chiringuitos, sanitarios, cafeterías. Bueno, lo encuentran todo. Ya esta es el área de Greenwich y aquí es un lugar maravillosamente hermoso. Es un lugar bastante grande, hasta que se puede llegar hasta el área donde se encuentra el meridiano de Greenwich, y también se puede ir en busca de donde está el lugar del teleférico. Así que mis hermanos, amigos, todos disfruten de este momento tan maravilloso, un lugar muy bonito.
People would be out of time, they'd be on the wrong time, so they'd come to Greenwich to take the correct time. The Cutty Sark, that T-clipper, is the only remaining T-clipper in the whole world. It's moored in Greenwich now as a museum. It is a lovely ship to walk round. Now this is one of the finest views of the River Thames, famous scene of Greenwich. We're going to turn the boat round. Now wait until we turned round and take your pictures from this side. We're going to turn round for you, okay? And what you need to do, see the iron gate where the people are standing. That once you get in line with that gate, you get perfect symmetry of this view, okay? So wait till we turn round. Now ladies and gentlemen, look how the naval colleges are built. They're built in separate wings. They're two different buildings. The reason they are built like that is because the Queen, she wanted her view onto the river. Okay, in the background you'll see a white house, that's the Queen's house, built for Queen Anne of Denmark. Ladies and gentlemen, she wanted her view onto the river, so Christopher Wren designed the buildings in wings so she could still see onto the Thames. So Christopher Wren also built the domes on the Naval College as mini experiment domes before he built the much larger one up at St Paul's Cathedral. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the observatory on the hill once again. Canaletto, the famous artist, sat on the Isle of Dogs to the right and painted this view. And the scene really hasn't changed a great deal, other than the clothes people are wearing and the cars that go across the road in the back. So it's a beautiful view. Now all this is open. You can just walk through here, go to the Queen's house, you've got the National Maritime Museum, there's plenty of things to do, okay? Don't forget, the last boat leaves here at 5:10. So you come back at 5 o'clock and catch the last boat back, okay? Have a lovely day, everyone. Please remain seated again as we go into the pier in case there is a little bump. And as we said earlier, if you have understood, you have enjoyed this commentary, and you would like to show a little token of appreciation, we leave our captain's tip bucket by the gate. Anything you put in there will be greatly appreciated by us, the crew. Thank you very much, everyone. You've been a pleasure to speak to this afternoon. Have a great day in London. Thanks very much.
Bueno, mis amigos, familia de YouTube, hasta lo que es el muelle de Greenwich, hasta aquí finaliza el viaje que inició en lo que es el muelle de Westminster, en lo que es el Parlamento inglés. Hemos hecho un recorrido bastante largo, por cierto muy bueno, y está finalizando en este momento en lo que es el muelle de Greenwich. ¿Ya? Acá pues estaremos unos minutos, ya que nosotros tenemos un boleto de ida y vuelta, y estaremos retornando nuevamente a lo que es el área de Westminster. Sé de que esperamos de que este video un poquito largo, pero fuera de lo común, como lo que es un viaje en un bote navegando por el río Támesis aquí en la ciudad de Londres, Inglaterra. Así que saludos cordiales para todos. Despido este video como de costumbre, recordándoles de que se suscriban, que den like y que nos puedan seguir, porque todo eso nos beneficia a nosotros. Ustedes nos ayudan mucho. El esfuerzo de andar por acá, es cierto, se pasea, pero de veras hay mucho tiempo que dedicar a este video y lo hacemos con todo gusto y placer. Así que solo pedimos que nos regalen su apoyo. La pasen bonito, un abrazo fuerte, hasta el siguiente video.